Hey guys, welcome to our review of Mashin Sentai Kiramager, episode 4. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Cinder Blaze.
And Makotoa.
Dudes, welcome back. We got done watching this episode, a few days ago. Long story short, Risk of Rain happened. But hey, we're back. We're going to give you our thoughts on this episode. And then we're going to respond to your comments at the end of it. You guys left quite a lot, so can't wait to dive into those. But yeah, anyways, let's dive into our thoughts. And yeah, excellent episode. Sakamoto is back with all of his Dutch angles, all of his shaky cam, and all of his wonderful action choreography.
Okay,
You guys
I
are
don't
giving
know.
me this face as if I'm lagging
No,
out.
you're good.
Okay, no,
You're good.
I don't know what a
Oh,
Dutch
okay.
angle is, but that sounds super dirty.
It's
So,
this.
is it the thigh
It's-
shot? Oh,
it's-
okay,
that.
okay.
It's like
Alright.
off to the side a little bit.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Whatever
Yeah.
it was, whatever he does, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
Whatever it was, whatever he does.
Yeah, but before we get into that, like, one thing that I really liked about this episode was how it introduced a non-standard villain. Like, we start off the episode with them already beating a villain of the week, and then
Yeah.
a giant crystal, a dark crystal, falls out of the sky, and then Mabushina is usually at the base, just like, you know what, I'm gonna go to this one because this is something different. And because he had that backstory with Mabushina and her father, he tries to approach it at a different angle. He's not going out and fighting them from the get-go, with his evil crescent form mask. He's back to the old Garza and just trying to manipulate her that way. And then we have Yellow and Red kind of responding to it in two different ways, and kind of see that unfold throughout the episode. And honestly, when they do stuff like that, make the plot a little bit more elaborate, and still keep it simple, I felt like Sentai can handle that pretty decently. And then we got the big fight at the very end, and I felt the pacing, the plot, it was super solid.
Yeah, definitely.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. And even the small incidental stuff that this episode picked up on, we early on in the episode we established that their laugh, the Crystallian laugh, is slightly different, and I just thought that was a throwaway thing, but for whatever reason in this Sentai every piece of it matters, and especially in this episode because it came back. You're giving me this face like I'm lagging out. Okay.
It just reminds me of something else.
Okay. So just the small stuff, and bringing back the Gemini crystal, all that sort of stuff, all the small stuff, all the incidental stuff that they touch back on, really helps. It really helps make it seem like they know what they're doing, and all the pieces of this puzzle are being used, and nothing's going to waste.
Yeah, it feels weird that they're taking it that seriously, because I think one thing that's been happening in the prior seasons, especially Lupat and Resoldier in particular, because of the ones I remember them most clearly, they would introduce a lot of stuff to not touch on them again. I know they aren't introducing major plot things. These are very minute things that they're bringing up in this episode, but at least they're addressing it.
Yeah,
for real.
It's something that I really appreciate them actually trying to put in the extra effort.
And the example that jumps out to me, and the problem that Michael had a lot in Ryu Soldier, were the Ryu Souls that just could have done whatever. And they did sort of give that blanket explanation of, oh, it died, it ran out of juice. And I was fine with that, but the fact that they are actually taking the steps to tackle it is going above and beyond what I usually expect out of a Sentai. So it's really nice to see.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, this is like a little bit weird, but because the Gemini isn't like a toy, they can actually treat it like an actual power up and not something they have to sell.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Smash Resoul was just something that got on like all of our nerves, like to a certain degree because of
I
how like BSy it was to a
I
certain degree and like in certain ways. Like I still overall I enjoyed it, but like it did kind of just feel a bit BSy at times.
I mean,
like
at the
I
time,
liked it. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say something because I haven't said anything all episode. At the time, I definitely didn't take it as seriously because I didn't take the show very seriously. Like I stopped caring about the plot at that point, so it didn't hamper it as much as it would for a show that I would have been taking more seriously, since I had already seen repeatedly, I think, that the show wasn't really being as rock solid with its, I guess, plot holes as others have been in the past, maybe. So I do like that this one is a little bit keeping to its own continuity more.
Mhm. And without going like too far off topic, I love the Smash Resoul. It's so hilariously used most of the time because it is precision punching. And in that way, like it was consistent in that it punched the thing that you wanted to direct your punch to.
Right. Yeah.
And then also the ridiculousness of its power set was so endearing to me that I just ended up loving it. Uh, but anyway, yeah, back to the actual episode. um, I still continue to love the dynamic between red and yellow because like you obviously see that yellow knows the right thing to do as a leader and you could see him potentially stepping up, but he doesn't have the charisma, he doesn't have like the interpersonal connection that red makes with everyone else. He doesn't like he does it doesn't feel like he has the empathy to be a leader yet, and it's
Yeah.
I would be interested to see uh, how long it takes his character to grow into that, and maybe him taking up a more leader role when Red is off fighting like a bigger villain or something like that. Like when Shinken Red went off to fight guy with red skull face, and
Like
then he handed off the leadership to Blue.
yeah, I think it was like Juzo.
Yeah, Fuwajuzo. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I want to say that I think on the flip side, we have Red a little bit unstandard for a Red to, be low confidence and not easily, quickly take charge, whereas Yellow kind of has that. So I think it's interesting that they both have leadership properties that the other lacks. And I know we're going to see Red continue to grow into that leadership position. He already did when he actually got angry and had a really amazing fight with the villain this episode. That's the kind of traits we saw. And then at the end of the episode we had the whole team teasing him for like actually coming out of his shell a little, and he's like, no, I can't be that kind of guy. But it's I liked how we're already setting him up as that kind of, I don't know, that dynamic, that kind of character type.
Yeah, and like
It's
one thing I
endearing.
was so like appreciated from like that whole fight was that it made Red look really good. Like despite like how like much Red, tries to put everyone else in the spotlight, like he's also very competent in his own. And I think like when he's good, when he can do the 1v1 against Garza as well as he did, it gives like at least the audience a bit more confidence in him as a leader. Like, look, he's like really strong. He can do it.
Mhm.
And like if you were having like doubts with him before, I think this would have helped a lot. And I also like that point where you're talking about how Yellow also has like leadership qualities that are different. And I
Mhm.
kind of hope like it reminds me a little bit of King and Black from Kyuger because they
Ian.
were also like yeah Ian. They're also like different types of leaders. It's just
Mhm.
that Red was like he just connected more with the team, but
Yeah.
like Black was also competent in his own. It just
Right.
depended on which one they needed at the time, which happened to be Red most of the time.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
So
I definitely get it. I just think like, because Yellow goes pretty hard most of the time, especially when he like doesn't need to be, and I think they sort of showed, I guess, what the difference in that quality of leadership is when they were confronting Mabushina about the crystal.
yeah.
And Yo was just sort of angry about it, but Red came at it at an angle like, yeah, I understand. And we see it later like, yeah, I understand where she's coming from, why she would want this. And to maybe let this play out to help ease her into the idea that maybe this is not the way it seems. And like the way that Judo is able to sort of orchestrate a situation or just make the situation work in favor of the teammate and the team, I think is something that Yellow just hasn't displayed yet for me. That's why I feel
Well,
like
it's
to me Red is like the
we're
better leader.
Well,
Not
go
necessarily
figure.
like
He's red. I mean, like we're only
No.
well, we're not 2 episodes in, but we're only a few episodes in. So I feel like with Yellow, we haven't had his focus episode yet, have we?
Yeah. But like I
no,
will
but
say this, like Red has proven himself to be a way better leader in these
yeah,
episodes just because of how he's handled his teammates. Because like
yeah,
Yellow,
but
like he reaches the right conclusion. Like Red reaches the same conclusion as him, but he goes about it in a way where like his team can like trust him. Because like if Yellow's ever opposing anyone else, it just results in a fight. Like we saw at the beginning of this episode. It was for something
That's
like
true.
small and stupid, but like
Mhm.
that's what happens. And when it comes to like, like a clutch moment and something like that happens, like at least like with Red, he would put in the effort to kind of like, bring everyone together, which is what they kind
and
of
I
need for a Sentai team.
and I think it was made the most clear to me in I think episode 2 when like again Alex was saying they came to the same conclusion, but Yellow was so angry and saying, hey, she needs to be here, this is the most important thing. And it would have like sort of made Green a little distrusting or just angry at being there. But what Jewel does and what the point of the leader of the Kiramagers is to make sure they shine and to make sure they are their best selves to perform at their best. And I think Jewel is the best at bringing out the best in the rest of the team so far.
Yeah. So how about Chainsaw Dino? Whew.
Hell yeah, dude! Oh my god, that was some
That
good stuff, man.
that
Check
was
out the claws. Check out the teeth. Check out the chainsaw.
When was the last time we had a villain Zord that's probably not going to end up being a good guy Zord?
We still haven't had one.
yeah. I
Oh.
mean, who knows?
Where do you think we are? But also, I think the last time it was like, at least the last time a toy was sold of it was, I want to say either Tokuger, if you want to count that, or yeah, Tokuger, or if you want to count Q Ranger with like those pillar things that turn into actual monster guys.
I
It
think
didn't work with like the mechanisms of everything else, but it was a thing they owned.
but like it was. This is a little bit different because it's coming from like the same sort of power
Yeah.
source, so it feels a little bit like different. I'm also really like the little bit of characterization they threw in there, like when everything didn't go like perfectly the way Garza wanted it to. It triggers him so hard. And I felt like that was a really good cop out for him for this fight because like there's no way they can fight him right now. It's like episode 4. So I'm glad they just let him deal with the monster and just like leave when he was just like done. Yeah. It might also have to do with like how the main villain is trying to get rid of everything beautiful and like Mamashina's planet was supposed to be like a beautiful thing. Maybe Garza also has some of those sentiments in the way he fights and interacts with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me? Yeah. Do you guys have anything else before we dive into the comments?
No, we're good.
All right, cool. All right, so we have 4 comments. Sorry we hadn't gotten to it sooner. Like I said, Risk of Rain 2 happened. First up, we have Double the Unknown coming at us with just a paragraph. Thank you, man, for condensing. I really appreciate it. I wanna shout that out whenever it happens because it is good stuff, and I appreciate it. This was another fun episode with some plot added in. Garza feels like a good rival for the group, so hopefully he lasts a while and isn't just General Number 1 to be killed in the next 10 episodes, so General Number 2 can be introduced. I feel like, he has too much significance to Machina and like the rest of the plot to where there's no way he'd get killed off too early.
Yeah.
It'll last at least half of the season.
Yeah. Here we go with... Oh, and we had a Wi-Fi issue. That's fine. I'll just keep reading comments again. We have this next one from Andy L, who says, "Sigh. When you got 4 pretty good episodes, having high hopes for it to be the better part of superhero time, here come the news of our Red Ranger got the..." And we're not going to say the outbreak thing. Hope everything turn out to be okay and the episodes can last until the filming resumes. Yeah, I mean, I've heard recently that he is feeling better. And honestly, if Sentai has to take a break because of it, if any of these shows have to take a break because of it, I mean, I hope they take the time to do so and stay safe. But yeah, it does suck. Way to review the episode, dude. Good stuff.
Delicious.
Awesome. Don't keep that juicy. We got another one from Yuki Miyazaki. Who said, we got 2 from Yuki Miyazaki saying, "This episode was really good with how that we almost buy the story that Garza told Mabushina that he was being controlled by Yodon and killed his brother, but because earlier episode Mabushina told the team about when Crystal people laugh, they make weird crackling sound, although when I checked the episode 0 where Garza destroy Oradin, I didn't hear the weird sound, so take it what you want. I just want to say that train looks so cool. Can't wait to see more Garza with it because so far he intrigued me and he won't became Tanked Joe 2.0. I can't believe you guys just noticed the hair now. Yep.
Okay, you guys might have. I noticed this like the first episode.
No, I noticed her hair. I didn't notice Garza's hair.
Oh.
Because Garza has a pretty like
it's all black.
mane. Yeah. Like you barely notice it. It's like Alex was saying before we started recording. It's like they put a wig on and then they put their mask over top.
I'm sure.
Yeah. That's kind of like why I didn't notice it from Mabushina, just because it like starts over here and that could easily be part of like the jacket.
It looks like part of her.
Like it's like a fur like coat.
Yeah, just a really long fur.
I mean, it was like along the inside of her jacket, so
right. All right, but yeah. So yeah, those are you guys' comments. Thanks once again for interacting with us and hanging out. Sorry the episodes came so late. We'll try doing better this week. We'll try actually putting out more content this week. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep it juicy.
Yep. See ya.
Later.
Michael was checked out. Almost forgot to say later.
0-1.
0 lost.
Episode 20 fucking 9. Oh my.